fun begins.
R4 is really an R2 painted red, isn't it?
Careful what you're saying about R4 because you can get bopped on the head real quick.
Actually, we could have got the angle just right.
Hello there.
Such a weirdo sometimes. Yeah. Hello there.
Detective of R4, man. You could get bopped on
for no real reason. Yeah, bop. Remember the phrasing that they're just like, words he chooses to use. He's clearly very much a dad, I guess, right? Like that's just
George Lucas is the father of all Star Wars, and he feels that a protective love. Not really so much anymore. I mean, he sold it all, but either way, don't talk shit about R4 in front of Georgia. You're gonna get bopped, and we know this for sure. Hello there, everybody. Welcome to the Dork Forces podcast, a very special episode. All right, this is episode 66 of this podcast. We are executing order podcast 66, and I'm super here for it. Not only that, but it's smack dab in the middle of such a sweet content drop of a week, right? We've got not only the Tales of the Empire announcement trailer just dropped on us from nowhere. Today we got the story trailer, the official story trailer for Star Wars Outlaws, which is easily my most anticipated game of 2024. Like I'm really looking forward to it. Thank you everybody for joining us. Hello there. We're a little bit later than we usually.
Follow orders. That's hilarious.
What'd you say?
I said good gonks follow orders from Devil Dog. Like it's hilarious.
Gonk gonk. Yeah, how you been, best friend? I haven't talked to you in a couple of days.
It's just been a crazy week so far. Mostly trying to just catch up with painting, playing a little Magic here and there when I can.
Very nice.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, Bendu is a master mini painter. He's always at it.
Not at all.
Don't be modest, man. He's blowing me away.
We started during COVID quarantine, for sure. It was definitely one of the newer hobbies that people picked up during their solo time.
You did a little painting before COVID, right? You just kind of refined your skills during that time.
No, I completely really just started during COVID. This month, or I guess past month, because we got the teaser trailer, but we got the trailer for Tales of the Empire during March while it was still
the Imperial March. Fuck yeah, man.
The only other thing that was fun marketing miniatures wise was we got more Inferno Squad, and I always want to call her Jim Urso, but that's not her name.
Iden Versio.
Eden Versio. We got
there's an R, an S, and an O in there. That's what's tripping you up, I'm sure.
We got to see more of their Shatterpoints minis and squad, which is going to be great. Trying to think, but you
painting any Star Wars minis right now? Besides, you've got some Shatterpoint stuff on the table, right?
Not yet. The next ones that would be on the bracket would be the Inquisitors. It would be Grand Inquisitor, Reva, and then
man, the Grand Quizzy.
Or Fifth Brother, the one that has the shark face.
Fifth Brother.
I always get their numbers mixed up. And then after that, it would be the Witches. But right now, I'm finishing the little Black Mage mini that we got from Emerald City Comic Con, which is almost done. He only has one more session left in him.
Nice.
I'm finishing a repaint of Matt Murdock Daredevil. He looked a little bit more Ben Affleck Daredevil.
For Crisis Protocol?
Crisis Protocol. He looked a little Ben Affleck, and I'm trying to make him look a little bit more Netflix Daredevil. And then after that, coincidentally, I'd be working on X-23 or Laura Henley. I forget what her actual last name is, but the Logan clone. The little lady, Logan.
Jackie Lawn, right? From the Acolyte, coming up.
Exactly.
And she's featured in, we might as well dive into it. Our first news item, we got a couple new photos released.
Did you get some
Empire magazine from the Acolyte? Let's take a look here. So magazine spread, always a treat. Go into this. This is a better overlay. So it wasn't so much of a deep dive, but we did get some pretty cool telling photos, which kind of sets the scene a little bit, get to know some of these characters a little bit better. Dude, Vernestra Row right here with like the top, like the scalp tattoo. This is a
Dude, she
Mary Ellen who
reminds
has
me-
seen some shit. Okay.
She immediately reminds me of like either someone from like one of the alien species from Doctor Who, or she reminds me of the blue. I can't think of her name, but she was in Farscape. She was the blue monk lady who was
Zan, you're talking about Zan.
playing the priestess monk.
Yeah, she was awesome.
Bro.
I
So
see it.
like,
I can see it.
like in his robes, like the little diamonds, like he's so put together. Like they look so much like old school knights. Like I fucking love it. Like it's
Yeah,
so
the visual language of the High Republic is a whole different era, and it comes through like knights, like protectors of like a frontier, more than like a fully fledged government and kingdom. That's kind of the vibe I get from these guys. Yeah, knights is a good. Well, I mean, Jedi Knights. That's always been kind of the motif, but they look the part here. Kel Naka, man, our Wookiee Jedi,
dude. Just chilling next to the swoop bike.
That's
like,
a baller ass looking swoop bike too. I really like it.
I like that he's just like they've perfected the symmetry for Wookiee costumes and Wookiee builds now.
They got it down. I can't really zoom in on this on this image viewer, but if you look at his head, he like, is he wearing like a skull cap or does he have like shaved sides? Like, what's going on there on the top?
I think he has a top knot. I think he just has a top knot.
You think the hair is just pulled like really tight? You think that's what's going on?
He's got Wookiee highlights. Oh yeah. No, he's got highlights and curls. He's got wavy ass hair. I think it's just pulled up so that to emphasize that he's a well kept Wookiee.
Sure. He's big into his personal grooming, which
like he also wears like he actually has like a tunic top. Still not wearing pants. Still
not fully clothed. Still not fully clothed. But you have to admit he's making Chewbacca look awful naked these days out here.
Yes.
With the level of clothing that he's choosing to wear.
I mean, Chrysanthemum didn't wear pants either. He just wore gun suspenders and like a belt across.
But I feel like that like translates to if Chrysanthemum was a human, he would be a huge naked guy just wearing nothing but guns and like bandoliers of armor and knives and weapons and stuff. Like he's that guy, you know? So I could understand Black Chrysanthemum being like, oh yeah, don't fuck with that guy. He'll beat you up and he'll do it while he's naked, you know, versus, I don't know. Now I'm questioning how many Wookiees wear clothes, you know?
Wait, so then like, what exactly does that make Chewbacca? Does that make him one of the swamp benders from Last Airbender where he's just like, pants are an illusion? Like, just with his side bag and his bowcaster, like pants.
They did a bit on that on Robot Chicken when like Chewie brings Han back to meet the family and they're all wearing blue jeans and stuff, and he's like, "You've been naked this whole time." He does have a satchel like Chewie, and as a satchel, I guess it's an article of clothing if you wear it, right? Technically, no, Chewie's not naked. He wears a bandolier and a satchel.
If you've ever watched Naked and Afraid, they give you is like the necklace thing that has the microphone attached to it and their side satchel. But that little side satchel, that's not a piece of clothing.
It doesn't count. It doesn't count as clothing.
That's your pocket. You know, that's your pocket that you don't have to use a prison pocket. You know what I mean?
Look, if it's all you're wearing is a satchel, whether or not it's a piece of clothing is irrelevant at this point. You're still going to get asked to leave the Olive Garden. Like it doesn't. Like technically it doesn't help you here. You're still naked when wearing a satchel. You know, it's not going to work unless you're a Wookiee. Apparently, if you've got enough fur, then you can just roll with it. You know, you could play that animal card and be like, "Well, I'm half beast, half man."
Exactly.
You know,
how are you going to put your mainland standards on me?
Yeah, exactly. Don't push that on me, man. On Kashyyyk, we do it differently.
Yeah, we don't use aluminium in our deodorant.
Aluminium. So here she is, right there in the center. Daphne Keene, I want to say her name is.
I like that we get 2 yellow sabers, 2 greens, and 1 blue. So it's interesting to see like if there really is any sort of not hierarchy necessarily, but it's like even when we got to see the Battle of Geonosis, like it was pretty like 50-50 between greens and blues.
But it was all green and blue, save Mace Windu and his one purple, like right.
So it's curious to see like the percentage of Guardians counselors versus Sentinels and everything else. It's like between the.
I wonder what meaning there is. I really hope there is like an actual meaning and a hierarchy, like you're saying, to the colors of the sabers, and it's not just like a random choice that they made, you know? Because in Legends, it's really in depth, and there's so much significance and meaning and like very specific attributes to the different colored crystals and to the colors of the blade and what it means about you. And a lot of that didn't get carried over into canon, or at least like explicitly acknowledged as being true. And so now the prequels kind of leaves you with this impression of like, yeah, you can have a green or a blue saber. Like it doesn't really matter, you know? But here we're seeing yellow sabers, and I want them to touch on that and explain what the significance of the yellow saber is in canon and why we never see them, you know, after this time period until Rey, you know, so many years later. That's a long time without a lot of yellow sabers, and I feel like there should be some sort of a reason for that, and at least a rhyme and a reason to why we have the colors that we have. You know, don't just make it arbitrary.
Because like I know for KOTOR for sure, I don't remember with the second KOTOR, so someone in the chat might be able to help me out with this one. But I remember like with Knights of the Old Republic, it was very specific that they wanted you to choose a class that they wanted of Jedi teaching that they wanted to go with, and then they would give you your subsequent color.
And the color corresponded with your like specialty kind of, you know, you're like your subset of this in the Force.
With Jedi Survivor, or maybe it was whichever the second one is.
Survivor.
Like they definitely gave you the option of changing fighting styles and fighting stances, which I thought was really cool.
Just like Jedi Academy did and Jedi Outcast.
Academy, yeah. But with that one, they kind of, it's interesting seeing which game mechanic they decide to go with. Like if they're going to go with certain like teaching philosophy, or if they're going to, and then, you know, specific color to the style, right? Versus like, oh yeah, no, you get to change your color and you get to use whatever fighting style you want. It doesn't matter to your character.
Specifically with Jedi Survivor, it makes sense, and I like that they went that way because Cal is self-taught. You know, he's like 80% self-taught. He was really young, never finished his Padawan training when 66 happened. So the fact that he has this like mishmash of stances using popular styles and like amalgamations, and like, what the fuck is blaster stance? They're not going to teach that in the academy, you know? Yeah. Like, it's because he had to make his own way, and it's reflected in his fighting style. And I think that's a really cool way of like, you get a unique sort of play style in the game, but also it makes him a unique character as a Force user because he wields the Force in a way that he had to teach himself for the most part. And so with that specific example, I like that it's kind of an outlier and it's a mishmash. But when it comes to like traditionally schooled Jedi, I guess, like you want your stances and you want to be able to pick between the forms. I really hope that we see a little bit of that in the choreography of this, like like established, like someone using Sorasu and stuff like that. I'm not entirely up on the lore of saber forms of like when they were established and if the High Republic predates the saber forms as we know them, you know, like Vapad and everything like that. But
no, they still had them. They
should absolutely use them in the choreography. I think that would be so cool. Especially if we got to see the Acolyte using Gemso, like the poor man style, which was like a dark side style.
Yeah, no, it's the moment that the Jedi started to be like make more like multiple councils is when they kind of started to reestablish like, okay, we have enough students, we need to like start making an established way of teaching.
Right.
That's kind of when they did it. So it was after the proto sabers. So it's definitely after they made the backpack lightsabers. It was something that started like as they were starting to generally make the foundations of what the Jedi Council is going to be. But saber forms have been around for like a long ass time.
Sure. Dude, do you think that we're going to see the backpack saber, the infamous backpack saber lore in James Mangold's Dawn of the Jedi movie? It's supposed to be about like the very first Jedi.
Oh, well, I mean, maybe
because like something was mentioned somewhere along the line that it was going to talk about like the first lightsaber to be ignited, and I'm wondering, is that the fucking backpack saber? Are they going to include that in the story? Because that would be hilarious.
That would be fucking hilarious.
The Macquarie ass like saber trooper walking down a hallway
with a giant, just square rectangular backpack, and then like a mag light with a garden hose. Yeah, I mean they made it in real life.
I'm
that's one of the very few plasma-based lightsabers that people have been able to like, make in their garages, like, here on Earth.
It's getting both like exciting and scary how good people are getting at like creating that stuff
In their own homes. Yeah, in their own forges and workplaces. So it's like, yeah, it's curious. It's curious like what the government and other military people are building with just the idea that like free Americans in their imaginations are just like creating fucking Iron Man suits out of.
I mean, art imitates life and life imitates art. And like so many actual technologies that have been developed were inspired by like fictional technologies on film and things like that, like video conferencing and video calling and stuff. The blueprint is totally laid out in like Stanley Kubrick's 2001: A Space Odyssey, right? Like you see someone use like a prepaid phone card to Skype with someone else. Like it's insane. That totally influenced people who then developed the real world iteration of that technology. And so like we're constantly inspiring ourselves with art in that way. So like we'll have lightsabers someday. Like we're going to have that technology, and it will be directly because of Star Wars and a scientist who watched Star Wars and was inspired and worked on it. And like it's like a powerful way that Star Wars actually contributes to real science being developed, because like these scientists, they're all nerds, they all get inspired watching the same stuff growing up. It's a pretty cool circle. Speaking of backpack sabers and speaking of Dawn of the Jedi, I'm actually extra stoked for that movie because they just added a writer to the project. It's Bo Willimon, who wrote 3 episodes of Andor. He did No Way Out, Narkina 5, basically that 3-episode arc, which I mean the whole show was so strong, but like those might have been the best episodes of the whole season. So like bringing him on board, like we're gonna get a proper Star Wars banger with this movie. I can't wait for it, man. Fuck yeah, One Way Out. Oh, floaties for Kino, man. I hope he can swim. I really hope he can swim. Or I hope someone that can swim saved him, because we know he can't, right?
Yeah, no, I'm sure there had to have been some sort of flotation device, right?
Well, no, I don't think there was. Like, fuck safety. It's a prison, They don't care. They got like electrified floors. Flotation devices.
Yeah.
They don't even care if their own employees drown, man. Fuck, like they're not gonna spend money on the prisoners.
That's true.
Have you been watching Shogun?
No.
It's badass. Fucking loving it. It's Hiroyuki Sanada from like The Last Samurai, Westworld.
Oh, yeah.
He stars in it, dude. Fucking phenomenal. I highly recommend it. I've been watching it. I've been reacting to it actually, but no one has seen the reactions yet because I've been so busy. I haven't even posted them on Patreon, but those will be coming later. So Hiroyuki Sanada was interviewed the other day, and he had this to say about Star Wars.
Who are you hoping to hit up for a new job? Do you want Star Wars? Do you want Marvel? What do you want?
Yeah, all of them, especially Star Wars.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of them. So, yeah.
Who's your favorite character?
I cannot say one because world itself is amazing. Yeah.
This man.
It's a very diplomatic answer. That's a very open and diplomatic answer for sure.
It absolutely is. Oh, that's the most red carpet of answers. But like Star Wars was on top of his list. Yeah. Get this man in here. Make him a Jedi. That would be so fucking cool.
I mean, they're space samurai. That's like they're
exactly.
With magic.
He's already trained. If you know the basics of kendo, you know the basics of original trilogy lightsaber duels, because that's where the choreography came from. Like Akira Kurosawa was the inspiration for all of it. Like, yeah, put him in Dawn of the Jedi. Have him be one of the early ones. If you told me Hiroyuki Sanada was the first man to like use a lightsaber, I would believe you. I'd be like, yeah, that fits. That tracks. That tracks for me.
Or if they made a live action of the Ronin from Star Wars Visions, like I could totally see him chilling with a little astromech with like a little teapot on his shoulders, and then that shoots out fucking rockets and flares, and he's just like pulls out a red saber and just starts making a living off of killing Ronin Sith.
Dude.
Yeah.
Dude. Yes. I hear you, Benjamin. I hear you. It's interesting. I see it and I like it. I see him in like a black hooded cloak with a red blade, and like it's fucking terrifying. He would be a great, wise, just like super skilled Jedi, but he would make a terrifying Sith. Every time he plays a bad guy, you're just like, don't mess with me. Like don't even look in his direction. He's terrifying. Yeah, no, he would be fantastic. So
Old Republic.
hopefully Lucasfilm was listening to that interview and he gets a call soon, because that's just a no-brainer, right? That's gotta happen.
I see some of the people saying Darth Bane in the comments. I'm like, he doesn't have the build. Bane is supposed to be like this really towering, like literal Tom.
Who would you cast as Bane? Who's your fan cast for Bane, if you have one?
I mean, like, if Tom Hardy were willing to do it, I mean, like, he wouldn't have to completely double it over his Bane. Like,
I was gonna say, does that have anything to do with the fact that he was already Bane and
to be one
Batman?
role to the other?
Yes,
like,
Alan Richardson. That has my vote. Fucking Reacher should be Bane, man.
Or like, okay, so if he were younger, like if he still looked like the Kurgan, like I would get Savage Press to fucking be Darth Bane 100%. It just needs to be a big bigger.
Dude, Clancy Brown in live action. I know he's already Ryder Azadi, but like,
yeah,
he could be Bane. He could do it. Although, yeah, no, I love this comment here. Reacher from Megaprawn. I think Alan Richardson not only would kill it as Bane, I feel like he would be super stoked to be a part of it, because Alan Richardson, he's a huge Star Wars nerd.
Josh
Brolin, a huge
Brolin,
nerd in general, but
Josh Brolin even.
Brolin's got the grumpy face for it, you know,
Yeah.
because Bane is like humorless, and Josh Brolin's really good at that. Like, you know,
Yeah.
I can dig it.
Bautista would be a really good. Who's that one? Who's the Sith Lord? Is his name Scion? The Sith
Scion?
Lord from
The shirtless motherfucker with like the really scaly,
apart.
like a scaly green skin almost.
Who's
Yeah.
apart? Yeah, from KOTOR 2.
But
Yeah.
that's because he looks like Drax. It's because he just looks like Darth Drax.
It's because he's angry as fuck.
Yes.
He's falling apart.
Speaking of Dave Bautista, just for a second, I'm trying to contain myself and not like railroad our whole podcast by doing nothing but talking about Dune. But I watched Dune Part 2 for the first time yesterday, and I'm erupting a little bit, trying to like not talk about it. But Dave Bautista was fantastic as Raban. He was so good. So good. Such a multidimensional performance out of what could have been a cartoonish antagonist, but like he gave him a lot of depth. And yeah, we'll talk about Dune later. That's going to be a whole. I can't mentally allocate bandwidth for Dune and anything else in a conversation, so we're just going to push it to the side. More about Dune later. All right, moving on. We have one more news item before we get to the trailers. George Lucas is going to receive the honorary Palme d'Or at the Cannes Film Festival. I'm sure I butchered how to say the name of that award, but more recognition for George. I'm all for it. He has shaped and reshaped so many things in the industry that he deserves, you know, endless recognition for that. So, yeah, Devil Dog, you know where to find me, man. Cool. So, we have two trailers. We have a double trailer breakdown to get to tonight, man. What are you thinking? What do you want to do first? Do you want to start with Tales of the Empire, which came out first, or Star Wars Outlaws, which I understand you haven't even watched the trailer for it, right?
I got to watch part of it. I got to start it, but then I had to go to work immediately after. So Tales of the Empire has been out the longest. It's the second part to what was already an amazing first half with Tales of the Jedi. This is going to be the absolute opposite with its creepy dark side goodness between the oh man, I can't remember what her name is right now. I'm like blanking.
You talking about Barriss Offee?
No, not Barriss. I know
Morgan Elsbeth.
Morgan. So yeah,
Morgan
so
Elsbeth.
half of it's going to be a lot of Barriss stuff, which I'm absolutely fucking stoked on. Everyone's been talking about Barriss and her being in prison, and like, so I mean, okay, so we're hyping it up. We might as well play Tales of the Empire now.
Let's fucking go.
We've been talking about Barriss in prison and what has she been up to this whole time, and like, let's just fucking go. But yes, there's so much inquisitive. Yeah.
You ready?
Young Imperial Thrawn, like, let's fucking go.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Why do you seek Imperial favor?
Fucking Morgan.
Years ago, my people were all but
The
destroyed.
massacre.
My anger gives me strength. It is that strength I offer the Empire.
Dude, the Earth, it's rendered so like finely. Fourth.
I'm here to present you with an opportunity, Barris.
Yeah. Fourth sister.
Just be glad you're not a Jedi anymore.
Oh, but Barris
Your
though,
path
bro.
is set, Morgan Elsbeth. I will fulfill my
I love that she's
destiny.
fighting with like psi type weapons, or not psi, like sickles. You know?
Well, they're like enchanted too.
Yeah,
Mercy
100%.
only breeds defeat. But I will help you overcome this weakness. Attack!
I wonder whose lightsabers those all are. I'm sure I could pour over them and figure it out.
You said
Yeah,
the
because
Empire
she
would
had a
help to
blue one.
change things.
Everything comes at a cost.
So this is totally like a New Republic representative getting like forced off of Corvus by Morgan Elsbeth. So they're like taking over the planet.
My
As an
world
impure
has
representative.
Oh,
Grievous.
Oh, he looks so good.
Since I was
Oh,
a
dude, look at the runes on the sickles.
You
I
cannot
knew he'd be
stop
back, man. I knew
what
they
has
didn't make that
begun.
updated model for like 2 shots.
Now,
Ahsoka.
let's face one final test. To join us.
Oh, fuck. I noticed that the ring was getting smaller as they fight, too. Varys is the first to bow, man. What's the significance there? She's just really good at playing the game.
Well, what? Yeah, right. Like one, just to recognize Vader as anything. Two, like I don't know if she's gonna make. I don't know if she's gonna survive. I don't know if she's gonna make it out of this alive because we know that we've seen fourth sister.
In Kenobi, yeah.
We've seen her in Kenobi, and we
Yeah.
know that she doesn't live past Kenobi, but we still see her in Kenobi, which means she survives all throughout this time. Barris could die, just like throughout like them whittling away and training Inquisitors. Bro, but Morgan Ismith, I'm curious if this is going to be like an absolute like rebuild of Grievous, or if this is just like looking back at whilst Grievous was just decimating Dathomir.
It's going to be the flashback, and it's going to be her trying to seek vengeance on Grievous, I guess, before.
So it's not
Revenge
like
of the Sith, maybe?
So it's not like they rebuilt Grievous. Like this is.
Oh,
still
I don't think
separatist.
Grievous is coming back from the dead in any way,
No,
but
this
maybe.
is still separatist Grievous, though.
Well, it could also be that like adult Morgan Elsbeth is going through it, some sort of a Dathomir ritual to address her trauma, and it means reliving it in her head. Kind of like when Luke fights Vader in the cave on Dagobah, you know, like she could be fighting Grievous again in like a vision, you know,
It's true.
like a mindscape of sorts, working through what happened. That would be my guess, because she looks a little old for how old we know she was at the time. I think she was a younger child than this when the actual massacre happened. So that's my theory there.
Because his arms and armor just look slightly different as well. That's
They
why
updated the character model when he came back for the Siege of Mandalore. And then we only saw it for those 2 shots. And I was like, there's no way they spent all that effort and they're not going to include more Grievous. So here he is. Maybe we'll also get some backstory on Marek and how he became Smoke. I misread this when I saw it on the chat. I thought you were saying how he became Snoke. I had to reread it. That's a very good point. I mean, going back to those Inquisitors, like Marek, does he die? Does he die in Ahsoka? Or did he die before then? Was he always Smoke? Like, is he a Smoke species? I sense something very like Dathomiri about the Smoke that is Marek. I'm sure he was a regular dude at one point and he's been like reanimated. That's what I think.
probably, and that's
Trying to
probably
find
how
that
he,
shot of the Inquisitors here.
that's probably how he hooked up with Shin Haiti and Balin Skull.
And Balin Skull, yep. So this is definitely Ahsoka. Right? It has to be.
Barris.
You think it's Barris?
I think that's Barris.
I can't quite get the right freeze frame, but there is like one frame in this shot where you can see that there's the hood kind of goes up. There's like Montreal dents.
And what's weird about that looks like Kanan's. That looks like Kanan's master for a hot second, which is weird.
Depa Billaba?
Yeah.
Which one? Blue Saber or Fourth
Yeah,
Sister here?
I'm trying to figure out who the fuck Blue Saber is.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It can't be Depa Billaba, but
Yeah, see, like they're like
Kind of looks like Boltar Swan from Attack of the Clones a little bit. Could also be like unnamed Jedi that's just getting hunted down. Because we have to see at least one successful Inquisitor mission for Barris's training. We have to see them hunt down at least one Jedi, you know? Ooh, that's interesting. Could we get the story of how Luminara ends up being used as a lure, you know?
Oh, when they put her fucking dead-ass body
In Rebels?
into the sarcophagus?
Well, because in this very first shot of Barris right here, look, she's wearing the exact same outfit that Luminara's like corpse was wearing. So this is where the fourth sister like plucks her from initially.
Yep.
And it makes me wonder, like, maybe
also,
like
no, I love that. I love
we'll
that
see what happens to Luminara.
eyes. I love the fourth sister's eyes are orange, and like Barris is still blue.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like she hasn't fallen, she hasn't turned dark or anything. She's just is not a Jedi. She's just not a Jedi. She doesn't believe in any of the fascism or any of the doctrination of any of it.
I don't think she's gonna go full Inquisitor. I think this is going to be a survival story and a redemption story, and I think Barris will survive. If nothing else, but because Dave Filoni has the hardest time killing off his characters. I mean,
we're looking at
don't see why this would be any different.
Now. We're looking at two dead Inquisitors right now. Both one of them of whom
but dude, he created them to kill them. That's different.
Okay. What?
He created this bird mask motherfucker to kill him off.
In order just purely to die.
That's different. Characters that he has like seen grow up, you know, so to speak. Like Barris is like a season 1 original right here from the Clone Wars, Attack of the Clones, everything. He's too attached. She'll never die the same way Ahsoka will never die. Marek here is a dead man walking. He was created for the purpose of someone dying in the fight. Same with Homeboy in the awesome Skeksis mask. Fourth sister, you said she died in Kenobi. I don't remember that. Didn't she survive Kenobi? Wasn't she just like basically fully background the whole time?
I don't remember. I thought
my main memory of her was keeping her head down and staying the fuck out of it every time Reva was yelling at Fifth Brother and like vice versa.
It's true.
She just kind of like not my problem, you know.
Yeah, I don't remember now. Fuck. Now I'm like gaslighting myself.
Yeah, no, she doesn't die.
So,
that's right. Thank you. Yeah, she survived.
Survived.
I don't think she has a canon death at this point. So depending on the timing of this show,
I could be thinking of like a fucking Shatterpoint playthrough, if anything, because she's an Inquisitor character, so I could just be thinking.
Yeah, she's definitely still alive.
She's also because she's not one of the ones that Maul kills off either.
No, he kills off seventh sister and fifth brother.
Man, shout out to seventh sister, who is like the coolest Wicked Witch looking bitch, and voiced by Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Yeah, she was great.
Like, she was so cool. And then we got Shark Boy is fifth brother, who is the big bulky sister.
Yes. Oh, that's ninth sister.
Ninth sister is the big
Duotin, yeah, from Jedi Fallen Order and Survivor.
And that one got killed off.
Yes. Her name is her Jedi name was Masana Tide. Yeah, she was killed in Jedi Survivor. Cal kills her. Oh shit! There I go again with the spoilers. She's dead. She's dead. Cal killed her. Jedi Survivor. She
That's
died.
not a spoiler. It's been out for a while.
Died.
People know.
If you haven't gotten to that game yet, too bad. It's too late now. Yeah, no. Everyone to the right, I guess to the left of Barris is dead. Fourth sister over here, her fate is unknown. Just because she survived so far doesn't mean she's not going to get killed off at some point. Maybe even in this show, we don't really know where in the timeline we're going to be.
That's true.
It's got to be pre-Rebels though, right? Because the Grand Quizzy is featured prominently here.
That's true. Like, that's what I'm thinking. Because like we don't see Barris at any other point in time afterwards. That's why I'm like, man, she's either, because it's not like she's just gonna go through all the Inquisitor training and then just be able to just run away scot-free, or like even Anakin Vader is just gonna like look at her face, look at her tattoos, and be like, oh, this bitch.
Anakin, so Vader's gonna immediately recognize her straight away.
Yeah, it'd be
and
like,
there's definitely some beef here.
Be like, oh, bro, it's my Padawan's love interest.
I understand the theories that like Barris is gonna die simply because of the previous relationship between Anakin and Barris. I don't buy it. I think that this is gonna have an unexpected conclusion, like this interaction right here, this scene. I don't see Barriss dying in this show. I really don't think they'd bring her back just to kill her off.
Granted,
I do find it interesting that like all of the
Okay.
side characters from that have now gotten their own resurgence. Think about it, like the Jedi who knew too much. We've got Ahsoka, Barriss, and Ventress. They're the ones that are front and center in this, and all three have gotten a resurgence. We've got the Ahsoka's got her own show. Ventress shows up at Bad Batch, and now here's Barriss. Like, I love it. What's next?
That's true.
Commander
Well, I
Fox,
mean,
Star Wars story. Like
now that I'm like buffering and thinking about it a little bit, I mean, like we have said before, like years ago, like how funny would it be if Barriss was the one who put Luminara in the sarcophagus? You know, or
that
like
would be
how funny would it
cold, dude.
How
That
funny
would be
would it
fucking
be
cold.
if it was her idea of like, you know what? My master never let me feel anything. You know, it'd be funny if I don't let her feel anything forever. like, oh,
So
God.
here's a theory that I saw. I think it was Jacqueline that posted this on Twitter. So we know that Mary Allens are basically like space elves in that they kind of don't have a natural lifespan. They'll keep on going unless they are like cut short in their prime.
Mhm.
Barriss, a Mary Allen, is the Padawan or was the Padawan of Luminara Unduli. We don't know how old Luminara is. We don't have a canon age for her. So there's nothing really to dispel the idea that she is the Padawan of Vernestra Rowe from the High Republic. It's not the most plausible theory, but it's possible. It's on the table. We could have a proud lineage of Mary Allen Jedi here from Vernestra all the way to Barriss, you know? If indeed that is the case, it's a hell of a legacy, you know? It's absolutely a headcanon. I'm not trying to purport this as any sort of official connection, but yeah, it would be totally sick. Credit goes to Jacqueline for that. She was the one talking about that on Twitter. But yeah, I mean, I think that would be totally cool. And a way for the new material featuring Barriss to like bridge the gap into this other time period that's like really emerging now. And now we're getting it on screen with like Young Jedi Adventures, the Acolyte, Jedi Survivor. We keep like touching on that game tonight. I guess it keeps coming up and being relevant.
I see you, Digitalis. I thought that Grand Inquisitor laid a trap for Luminara, or is that not canon? He did lay the trap, but I mean, like, whose idea? We're talking the inception. We're talking the inception of it.
It's at least canon that he laid the trap for Kanan using Luminara. I don't know if it was ever confirmed that he personally was the one that trapped Luminara. I didn't.
Herself. Yeah.
Maybe that's true. That wasn't never my understanding. My understanding was that he had her as an asset at his disposal and therefore used her as a lure for like subsequent Jedi captures. But I would love to get the story of how she ended up in custody like that. And if Barriss becomes instrumental in her being used as a lure, like that's dirty. That is cold.
I mean, at the same time, it's Luminara that got Barriss kicked out and essentially arrested. I mean, okay, it wasn't her who single-handedly got her kicked out and arrested, but if Luminara was a more caring, compassionate Jedi Master versus well, if you die, you die.
She definitely was not like warm and fuzzy, but that does not negate like the validity of her teachings. It was just a very, very different philosophical.
She was very Catholic
approach,
nun about it,
you know?
and that's not what Barriss
was. Well, she was very non-human about it. You know, she was Mary Allen about it, like a less emotional species. Like they're very emotional, but like less like governed by them.
They're like, yeah.
That Anakin is like the ultimate like emotional reactive Jedi. Luminar is so much more like, well, let's stop, let's consider it objectively and like coldly and come to a conclusion. Like she was ready to be like, all right, well, Barriss and Ahsoka are trapped in that cave. Like, fair enough. Let's go back to the temple, start shopping for new Padawans. And he's like, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah, like that's fucked up.
Like the Martez sisters, their parents get fucking murdered in Collateral, and she's like, yeah, well, you know, it is what it is. The Force does that sometimes. Anyway, here's a Hot Topic gift card. Have a nice day. And like just leaves. And in Luminara's mind, she's like, I did an adequate job. Totally good enough.
Yeah, right? Like that's so fucked up. That's so fucked up. But she's like,
yeah, exactly. She didn't have like a go-to answer for like, why are mommy and daddy dead? Like, because that was never her purview. Like she wasn't a wartime Jedi. It was never supposed to be. And like, yeah, not the best bedside manner.
No, God, that's fucking hilarious. Yeah, no, that's the best way to describe it too. And
I saw a comment in Henry Lewis talking about her hair. You know, honestly, I like to think that Vernestra is in her She's in her Britney Spears phase. She's just like had it. Like if you've read the book,
I mean, there's
and
so
you know
many
the shit that
bald-
she's been through at this point in her life, like she's done with it, you know?
Dude, there's a lot of
That's how I see it.
bald. There's a lot of bald female Jedi in the High Republic. Like I've seen a couple of like character, what's it called? Profiles. Luminara nailed it. Like this bitch.
Barista coffee.
It's just like, yeah, like it's just
Barista coffee.
like I did it. I did my job. It's fine. And then like we got
the loudest sound. You're like, your thing.
That was the wrong clip. Whoa, I don't even know how that happened. Sorry, what were you saying?
it was just like I'm just thinking in my head now, just like the absolute like dichotomy and different personalities you have of like different Jedi masters. You have Mace Windu, who's just like, no, I am the law. We follow the code and we follow the fucking code. And then you have Plo Koon, who's like, here, child, are you cold? Let me give you a blanket and pat you on the back, and here's some soup. And then
Warm
there's
and nourishing.
yeah, and there's like pinnacle of what a Jedi should be. And then there's like fucking, and then there's Qui-Gon, who's like, well, I don't believe in any of this. This is bullshit, and we shouldn't be here in the first place. And then there's Luminara, who's just like, well, they're starving because they needed to learn something from this. But
Luminara is basically like as close as Star Wars has given us in the prequel era to like a Bene Gesserit, you know?
yeah,
She's very cold. She has her head in the big picture constantly. She does her best to abide by the will of the Force, but doesn't really factor in whether or not that's going to hurt people necessarily. And I think that needs to be an integral part of how you conduct yourself as a Jedi. But like, yeah, F in the chat for Plo Koon, man. He really was the realist of all of them. And I don't know, it gets very like morally and ethically murky when you think about just the concept of the clones. Like they're basically child soldiers that have been like bred for war, and like, yeah, he was nice to them, but he's still complicit in leading these child soldiers to their deaths, you know, throwing wave upon wave of them to their certain doom against droids to like take planets for the name of a government. Like that doesn't seem like something that a spiritual, like a Jedi Knight, that doesn't really seem like that should have ever been their role, you know.
True. But then we have the like the student body treasurer, or like student body like secretariat. We have Cesis 10 over here, who's also taking said children soldiers and giving them jetpacks and space helmets. And like, you know what? Let's fuck it. Have you ever had hey kid, have you ever gone on a spacewalk? Fucking go. Like,
oh man.
Yeah. So
yeah, we don't get enough Iktachis. I mean, I was glad to see one in the Bad Batch last week.
Who's
We had
just
a little
getting worked on. Also, the other day,
Amy, she had like a human name. I remember that.
Yeah. Also, someone in the chat, help me out. Which T power do they have? Are they telepathic or are they telekinetic? Are they known to like move shit, or are they just mind readers?
Iktachis?
I feel like they're
telepathic. They can communicate mentally. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Yeah.
I knew they had one of the psychic. They had one of the psychic powers. I just
one of the big T's. One of the capital T's.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if they were on that Jean Grey spectrum or if that Professor Xavier spectrum.
Let's roll through this bad boy again.
Why do you
for Chelsea Empire?
Imperial favor?
So this is also like he's not Grand Admiral just yet. He's still just like climbing through ranks. It doesn't even look like he has a white uniform yet. He's still rocking the black and gray.
He has a gray uniform, and his rank plaque, I believe, is commander. It's not the same rank plaque that he has as a Grand Admiral. I know that much. I haven't actually studied it yet.
God, so many fucking droids, bro. Getting to see her with her face.
I mean, it kind of looks like that is her at the time of the flashback. Maybe she was an adult already at that time.
My anger.
These are definitely her troops on Corvus, just like burning the place.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out, like, those aren't separatists. That has to be a different.
No, this is during the Mando timeline. This is the planet where we first met Ahsoka in live action.
Oh, that's right.
And remember, it was a big ass burned forest. It was nothing but burned trees everywhere.
And
these giant, like, cool ass stop motion beasts, like off in the distance, like eating stuff. But we're gonna see Corvus as like this nice lush green world, and she's gonna burn it for some stupid reason. I can't imagine it's for anything good. So, yeah, this is definitely on Corvus, and those are definitely the same troops that we saw Ahsoka and Mando fighting.
Gives me
Dathomir.
So yeah,
Postmaster.
yeah, I guess that would have to be Dathomir, wouldn't it?
This is her arriving on this, because this explains why she survived the massacre. She wasn't there. This is like her dropping to her knees like that is totally like the, oh my god, if only I'd been here, you know, like she's happening upon
Yeah,
it like, right now for the first time.
Which makes me curious who the other ladies in blue are, because like one, that'd be the first time we see Night Sisters wearing blue if they are Night Sisters, or two, some other, I don't know, do-gooder passerby that like saved her from saved her after the
Are
massacre.
all women on Dathomir Night Sisters?
I mean,
The same way there are like Iridonian,
different covens.
Zabraks, and like
so there's different covens.
there's like lay people that live on Dathomir too, though, that are then used as like vassals for the Night Sisters and like the different clans.
I know
Like, like the Night Brothers that you fight in Jedi Fallen Order when you go there. You know, like they're like Iridonian Zabraks, and they are like vassals for the local Night Sisters.
Yeah.
So there are lay people there too. These could be something like that.
Maybe. But I like that with this shot, you're able to see more of like the different atmosphere for Dathomir, because we've seen the really kind of creepy swamp part with
Very green, yeah.
Yeah, we've seen the creepy swamp part where the little the cemetery like mummy, I can't think
Where
of
like the pods, like a big, yeah.
pods. Yeah, so we've seen that part. It's only in like the Dark Horse comics that we got to see the more mountainous, like kind of necromancer, all the witches who are dressed in gray. So it's cool now getting to see like more of the mountainous parts of Dathomir. It just emphasizes more that's an actual.
That's what people are saying in here too, that they are dressed in a different garb because they are from a different clan, like the Mountain Clan.
Maybe
Night
that'd
Sisters.
be cool.
I would really like to get some expansion on
Mountain
Dathomir
Clan.
culture. That is not everyone on the planet has to wear red fabric. You know, like if we could get some variety in there, that would be awesome. That would be really cool.
If they are Mountain Clan witches, I hope we get more giant bats, giant bat mounts.
As long as I don't have to jump and try and land on one. God, fucking damn it! That was an ordeal in Jedi Fallen Order. That shot right there of her curling her hand in the
dirt.
Dude, it's so
It looks good.
It's just so high quality. The fidelity of this goddamn animation just blows me away.
Yeah, price of dirt's gonna go up.
I got a cat yelling at me from down the hall. Sorry.
The Empire.
And she's already got the Beskar spear here. And look, there you get a much clearer shot of his gray uniform, right?
Yeah, that's like the olive tone, like grayish green. Look how young his face is too. Like like they were almost able to give him more hair.
It's a completely different face to Rebels. Like the art style is night and day. It's a completely different take on what he looks like. And I think he looks a lot more like Lars here. Not that he doesn't in Rebels. I think that Rebels, like, honestly, they've got his face down just with like a weird chiss head with like the handsome Squidward forehead. That was a choice, but they went with it, you know.
Offer accepted.
Yeah, dude. I really hope that we get an extended sequence of the massacre on Dathomir. I think that would be a treat.
I'm here to present you with an opportunity.
Okay, so confirmed, Fortress Inquisitorius, which we already knew, because there's Mustafar up there in the background.
I'm here to present you with an opportunity, Barriss.
And I'm thinking this was like very shortly after Order 66. Do we know where Fourth Sister came from? How she came to be in it? How she came to be in the Inquisitorius? Because those are Coruscant Guard Phase 2 clone troopers behind her, right? We know that within a matter of months, they started getting replaced by TK troopers. We know this from Bad Batch now. So this would have to be pretty damn soon after Order 66. And also, the Fourth Sister's not in a uniform. As far as I can see here, she's wearing civilian clothes.
Yeah.
So who the fuck is this civilian who's wandering around the fortress, able to go in and talk to Barriss, but she's not dressed as an Inquisitor herself yet, And it's so soon after Order 66 that there's still clone troopers posted here instead of TKs. So I'm wondering, like, yeah, who is she and how did she get to be in this position? I kind of assumed that all the Inquisitors were captive Jedi that were forced into the position, but here she is waltzing around. Like, we don't know much about her, but could she be like subtly very formidable and like just like playing from the shadows? And she's never the center of attention in any scenes that she's in. Is that totally by design and she's been working everybody? Like, also, where are Homegirl's hand tattoos at? You notice that?
Does she have hand tattoos?
Yes, she does. She fully does. She has like triangle, like diamond designs on the backs of both hands in Clone Wars, and
maybe those ones.
She's so stressed that her pigment just like absorbed the ink.
Or maybe those ones were like henna tattoos.
Maybe that would be weird. I guess if you've got permanent face tattoos, you would think that it would be permanent everywhere, but who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, this line right here.
Just be glad you're not a Jedi anymore.
Your path
Dude.
is set, Morgan Elsbeth.
She looks great with the short hair. I dig it. Or do you think it's just pulled back? I can't tell.
I can't tell either. I think it's just pulled back.
Oh yeah, you can see in that fight she's got like a bun.
I will fulfill my destiny.
What Imperial action do you think is being taken on Dathomir? Because that's an AT. That is definitely an AT-AT, and we're on Dathomir. The Empire wasn't around during the massacre, and Grievous was gone by the time the Empire showed up. So what are they doing on Dathomir, you know? Could they be sent as a gift from Thrawn to try and reinforce Morgan Elsbeth? Like,
that looks like a clone. That looked like a clone dropship.
It's definitely a walker, though.
Oh, I didn't think it looked like a walker.
I'll try and pause it right on the frame.
Well, we don't need it.
The camera's moving a little bit, but you can see that it kind of like thumps a little bit as it's taking a step. And also that sound effect is unmistakable. That's definitely the walker sound.
I will fulfill my destiny.
Woo!
Mercy only.
Yeah, these are definitely like all hilts that I should know. You know what I mean?
Not necessarily.
Like some of them are like like that one 3 from the left is like a little bit more greebled than the other ones, and it feels specific. I'm not recognizing it, but I'm gonna have to run through like an infographic that I have of like every Jedi hilt in the Clone Wars and see if I can match any of these. I will report back with my findings at a later time.
Breeds defeat. But I will help you overcome this weakness. Attack!
Oof.
Just straight to the ceiling.
I love that they recreated the exact shot that we saw in The Mandalorian too. That's fun. That's some nice continuity.
Change things.
Everything comes at a cost.
It's going to be fun to go back and rewatch The Jedi in Mandalorian after having seen this story that takes place on Corvus. It's going to like give it a different context. Like I know that the mayor character is even in this. I don't know if I think it already showed him, but it's totally the same mayor that was like in the crow's cage. That guy right there, yeah. Like Mando fully rescued that dude. Do you think she's a military ranking member of the New Republic, or do you think she's like a senator or like a representative here to like broker a peace or a treaty or something?
You mean for the Empire?
No, I mean Morgan Elsbeth has clearly moved in on this poor dude, the mayor, and so he reached out to the New Republic for assistance, and so they're here being like, "Hey, you can't just steal this guy's planet." And then in response, well,
at a cost.
Here's what she does. Like she blows them the fuck up. And so I'm thinking that she's just gonna like take Corvus by force and enslave the old mayor and the magistrate, you know. His name is Wing. Okay, Wing.
You cannot stop what has begun.
Could that be Luminara? Have we ever seen Luminara with her hood down?
No.
Do we know what her hair is like?
She's always had her habit. She's always had an habit.
So honestly, if it was Luminara, it would be very hard for us to recognize her in anything other than that, right? And that does look like some green skin. Like there's a definite green color in that, right? And it's not just the glow from the blue saber.
Yeah.
I think that might be right on the money. I think this might actually be Luminara getting captured.
What has begun.
I still hold that this is Ahsoka.
Blowing away droids?
Well, I mean, look at the white light. Look at the white light. I think that's just a clue, you know?
Yeah, but I don't know. That could just be the Force. But the outline by itself fits Barriss when Barriss was wearing her regular robe and wearing
It does
dress.
I swear you can see just a little bit of like Montrals, of like a headpiece changing the shape of the hood just a little bit. Like it's very blurred at the top, but I feel like the hood goes up just a little higher than it would if you had a head like Barriss has. Yeah, I think that was Luminara being apprehended, which is wild just on its own.
Now you must face one final test to join us.
Yeah, question is, who the fuck is she fighting here?
I know the fact that they never even bother to show us a good shot of him means that he's super dying in this challenge. Oh, there we go. Okay. It's a split seconds. That's who he is.
Oh yeah, no, that person's dying.
He looks like a Herosian from Star Trek Voyager. Oh, there you go.
No, he's dying. He's a glove.
Is that his head? Is that like some mutton chops? Has he got some weird like facial hair going on?
Yeah, he's a glove shit.
He's super gonna die. He's super gonna. His ass is grass, man. Like, boom.
It is time you meet your new master.
Yeah, she's the first one to bow, man. I feel like she's just really good at playing the game, and she's gonna do what she needs to do to survive. She's gonna like graduate from this program, and then the first solo mission she's sent on, she's going AWOL and just like leaving it behind.
That's true.
That would be my prediction, I guess.
Because theoretically, she's been in prison for like 3 years. 2
Yeah,
years.
at least. Yeah, no, I think Barriss is going to go AWOL. Fourth sister is going to be instrumental in like leading the search to track her down. And maybe the show ends with Barriss successfully faking her death in a way that satisfies the Inquisitors, and they write her off as dead, and then she can like go do whatever she has next, whatever chapter's next for her in her life. That's wishful thinking. That's what I hope happens.
I was gonna say.
I hope you're wrong, man. I hope she doesn't die in the show. That is the most best case wishful thinking ass scenario. I hope she doesn't fucking die, man, because that would be terrible. Yeah. Everything she's been through just to bring her back and kill her. And honestly, if it ends with her just doubling down and becoming a dark side Inquisitor, that would be even worse.
Okay,
worse than death for Barriss, man.
Just to pause you there for a second.
Everything that she stood against with the Republic, and now she's in an even worse organization. Like, come on.
I feel you on. Look, we can't resurrect her just to torture and kill her.
Not cool.
Ventress. We tortured her. We resurrected her just so that she could give us the word of the week.
Yes, yes. But you know what? But that was satisfying. And we know we're going to see her again. We know it's not over for Ventress, you know?
Because she survived. So
I want to see cranky old lady Ventress training Rey. I think that would be dope.
That would be dope. That would be great. If she just ends up being the Kreia of the Star Wars cinematic universe.
That would be kind of cool, actually.
That'd be fucking dope. She's just chilling with like her hood barely covering over her eyes, and she's just using the Force to telekinetically circulate fucking sabers around her. Yeah, done.
It's a no-brainer. I'm into it.
She's just like calls everyone whippersnappers, and she's like, yeah.
Back in my day.
Yeah, she'd be like the witchy version of Clint Eastwood. Like, it'd be hilarious.
I think Barriss is going to die to Ahsoka on her first mission as a full Inquisitor, bringing it full circle since she bested Ahsoka when they last met. I think that is highly unlikely. I think that it's more likely that Barriss is going to make out with Ahsoka. I think that's more likely than her killing her. I really don't think she's going to die. I really don't. Like, yes, there'd be some nice symmetry to that, come full circle in a way, but I don't feel like that's their relationship. It never has been. It absolutely broke Ahsoka's heart that Barriss did what she did. But Ahsoka would never be willing to take that step. Completely agree.
I didn't say Ahsoka. Who said Ahsoka was going to be the one to kill Barriss? I mean,
General Grievous said so.
Oh, I was just saying. Gotcha.
But I disagree with that. I think that she's going to make it. But she is going to see Ahsoka. I really feel like that was Ahsoka in the trailer there. Also, it really does amuse me to no end that this dude on the far end there with the cool ass helmet went through all this rigorous bullshit just to get one-shotted by Ahsoka on presumably his first mission out.
Not his first mission. He's been killing it, or he'd been,
We've never seen him before. We had never seen him before that moment.
That's true. But how else would those three have gotten together?
I mean, they went through the same. Presumably they went through the same stuff that Barriss is going through now. They graduated from running the same gambit.
Baylan and Shin weren't Inquisitors, so
I'm not talking about Baylan and Shin. I'm talking about Birdface over here, the claw mask guy on the end. Because in Tales of the Jedi, he shows up in the little village and Ahsoka just dispatches.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's fair, 100%.
All that training and hoops that he jumped through just for that.
Gotcha. Thought you meant Merrick.
No, Merrick, we don't even know what his trajectory is going to be.
Long live the Empire.
Fuck yeah, Inquisitor.
Hell yes. God, dude, it looks so good. I can't wait. May 4th is going to be an absolute treat. We're getting all of these episodes at once. It's going to be a full season drop because that's what they do with these anthologies. So we're going to have to sink our teeth into those in I can't wait, man. I can't wait. And that's only half of it. That's only half of our trailer breakdowns that we've got here, because we also have the brand new, never before seen story trailer for Star Wars Outlaws, which you've only seen a little bit of this, right? So we're getting a partial Bendu reaction right here live on the channel. Let's do it.
Each of you represents some of the most powerful criminal organizations in the galaxy. Pikes, Crimson Dawn, Huts.
I wonder if that's
the golden age.
No, it's totally one of her representatives.
The Empire controls.
She is confirmed to be in the game, though.
But they're distracted by a rebellion that won't quit.
Look at that red Rhodian.
It's an opportunity to make millions.
And he's a brand new faction. They've created a new faction for this.
The underworld's favorite new scoundrel. We need it.
I love her hair. I love her jacket. I love her blaster.
Yeah, she's got a great look.
All of it.
They're new, rich, and lethal. You cross their boss Sliro. And
fucking boss heads, bro.
We're like Slimo.
Rob his fortune and buy your freedom.
This job, it's a death wish.
That's
I'm in.
Yeah, bro.
Let's go.
Out here, you live and die by your reputation. You want to survive?
I love it. We got a fucking chain-smoking Mon Calamari out here.
Come back when you're not.
She sounds like she should be smoking through a tracheotomy.
Don't try anything.
Job.
I got a whole crew surrounding the
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah, the environments look fantastic.
It's just been me and Nix. Doing what
Little
we
Nix.
have to survive. This job is my one shot at freedom. But if we're gonna pull this off, we need the right crew. And the right ship.
Let's go.
because you are one of the best hunters in the Outer Rim.
Oh,
She's
bad
more
guy.
connected than you let on, Sliro. Bess is mixed up in something bigger. The Outer Rim is a dangerous place. Everyone is fighting for their piece of the galaxy.
True.
But all I want
Aw, man,
is to live free. So I'm gonna risk it all. Hold on, Nick!
That was Sarlacc.
Like a Sarlacc pit.
That's like a crate dragon, bro.
Hell yeah.
Order available now.
Oh my god.
Boom.
So Tatooine's totally on the docket, obviously.
Oh, 100%. Between the Sarlacc, the Crate Dragon, Jabba's Palace, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, GTA meets Red Dead. That's it in a nutshell right there. And the fact that it's open world. Yeah, you pre-order offer the Kessel Runner bonus pack. You get some extra goodies. In fact, there are all kinds of extra goodies that you get for this thing. With the Ultimate Edition, you get the Kessel Runner bonus pack. With a season pass, there's two upcoming story pack DLCs, including Jabba's Gambit, which would be the Tatooine mission, I suppose. And you get the Kessel Runner cosmetics. You also get the Sabak Shark bundle, which is like a Lando-inspired outfit.
Oh my god, I know. Look at that shit. That's
And then the Rogue Infiltrator bundle. I'm assuming that's like Jyn Erso, maybe.
It does look very Jyn, yeah.
But what's more important to me here is yes, there's outfits for Kay Vess, but dude, there's outfits for Nyx. You actually dress up her little pet companion.
Her little
Look,
axolotl
he's
thing.
got little fucking goggles in this one. I can't handle it.
That's
it.
pretty cute. That's pretty
But
fucking cute.
I'm gonna have to handle it because the Ultimate Edition to this game. Guess how much it retails for? Guess how much this costs?
70.
70 for the Ultimate Edition. Higher. A lot.
Well,
higher.
I mean, how big was World of Warcraft in its heyday for its subscriptions?
I think even at the height of it, it was still $60 for the thing. $129.99 USD
for the initial game itself.
For the Ultimate Edition, which comes with everything that you see here. So the base game, the season pass, a digital art book, the pre-order bonus. $70 is the base game is just the game itself. $100 honestly would still be reasonable, but $129.99, $130 for the Ultimate Edition of this game, and that's a shit ton of money for a video game, man.
Nope,
that's a lot of money.
Can't do it.
I mean, but the thing is, you don't have to pay $129. Okay, you can pay $70, just get the base game. You don't really need the cosmetics, and the season pass. I feel like. Well, I have questions about a season pass and how it's all going to work. Because remember the season pass that was touted for Battlefront 2, and then it was just like rife with microtransactions. And seeing that on there gives me like some intense flashbacks to like one of the rockiest launches ever. So I'm hoping that's not going to be the case. I'm a real sucker for the cosmetics too. Like it's sad how much they might still get it out of me too. Like I get that, but I did balk at the price. Like that's pretty high, man. That's pretty high. For what we're getting though, like could definitely be worth it. It really depends on like the replayability of the game. I don't want,
especially if it's open world, right?
I don't want to spend an arm and a leg on cosmetics of a game that I'm not going to play more than like once or twice. Jedi Survivor, fantastic level of customization. And that game has some great replay value too. So if we're going along those lines, I'll be a happy camper. But let's take another look at this thing.
Represents
Right out of the gate here. You recognize this place?
Yes.
That is Cantonica.
Yeah.
Canto.
Rise.
Last Jedi, number 8.
Last Jedi.
You can see right here these two speeders going across the screen. These are totally like the local city cops, the parking enforcement that pulled over that impounded Finn and Rose's speeder.
each of you.
Yeah, that's totally what they are.
Some of the most powerful.
Sliro is a weird name to choose when Slimo is a thing. I wonder if that's deliberate.
Only in Huttese, though.
Well, yeah, but I mean, We're talking underworld player, Sliro. Like that's he must have known.
Criminal organizations in the galaxy.
He kind of has the same
like a
look
Sliro.
as Governor Adelhard from Star Wars Uprising, with like the gray and black goatee and the big fur coat, big fur cloak thing.
Pikes.
We got a Pike. This is not Kira, but this is definitely a representative of Crimson Dawn, which is great. Ooh, I wonder if it could be what's her name? The heir to the Unbroken clan. The child. No, that wouldn't fit with the timeline. It couldn't be her. But this is during War of the Bounty Hunters, for sure. And then the Hutts, Senta Weequay. How much you want to bet that this is a Wookiee right here on the corner on the left?
Judging just by how much fur it has?
Just judging from the wall of fur. Just the wall of fur. Cadelia, thank you. Yes, I'm talking about Cadelia. I don't think that's Cadelia, but we know that she became Kira's protege and she would send her on stuff, so potentially. It's not Kira, but we are going to see Kira somewhere. That's kind of, I didn't want to say it, man. I didn't want to be the first one to throw that out there, but like, what if that is Black K? What if Chrysanthemum's sitting around that table with all these other, like he could be representing another faction. Easy.
As a bounty hunter?
Yeah, when you see a wall of fur, a walking carpet, if you will, that's usually what that is. If we don't get Boba Fett even once in this, I'm going to be really surprised. Hell, fucking Jedi Survivor had a Boba Fett cameo. And he had nothing to do with that story. This, we've seen Han Solo and Carbonite on the wall. Like, it's a given. Like, we've got to see Boba Fett, man.
Or
We're
at least
taking place between War of the Bounty Hunters and Crimson Reign. We're like right in the middle there because Jabba has his prize. Crimson Dawn has not been dismantled yet. Therefore, we've got to be right between those two comic arcs. I mean, he'd have to send the Gamorrean girls and the Gamorrean guys, and that's just a whole lot of personnel. Look, hang on. This is important research. Do we have any Malerons on the table? No, but we've got a lot of like fruit and like root-based things. We got some like tubers, and those could be Jogan fruit, the purple ones over there. Not a lot of
plum-looking things.
Not a lot of recognizables. I know. I'm so. Boba Fett dies in Jedi Survivor. You heard it here first. Okay.
It's a golden age for the underworld.
Also, no one in the underworld calls it the underworld. It's like, are you a cop? Are you undercover?
The Empire controls every corner of the galaxy, but they're distracted by a rebellion that won't quit.
I like the color of this this Rhodian, like the purpley red. You don't see enough of those colors on Rhodians. Oh, and there we go. There's our Malerons right there on the left. Okay, confirmed. I knew they were going to be in here. You can't have Star Wars marketplaces without Malerons these days. It's like the law.
It's an opportunity to...
Oh, and there they are right there. We just couldn't see them from that camera angle. They're on the right side of the table there.
Make millions.
What did she just pick up? Is this a hacking device?
Looks like a grapple hook.
Totally. You're totally right. With like the blades like folded in. It's totally a grapple. You got the blaster.
K-Vess.
K-Vess.
The under...
I like that the first thing we see this woman do is just absolutely body a Sullustan in the face.
World's favorite new scoundrel.
God! Just like slam his head on the table.
The
pistol
smile the entire time.
Favorite new scoundrel.
Boom! Boom!
We need it last.
This guy has a lot of Talon Card energy. He's definitely not Kyle Katarn. Y'all can just get that out of your heads right now. There's another fucking Maileron. Look at that on the right side. There are Mailerons everywhere in this trailer. I need to go back and try out the Tales of the Empire, see how many Mailerons they snuck in there.
What do you want?
Like the Fortress Inquisitorius, like food court.
Zarek.
All right, so I missed the name of this faction last time. Let's hear it.
Zarek Vesh.
Zarek Vesh. Zarek Vesh is the new faction run by Sliro.
Zarek Vesh. They're new, rich, and lethal.
New, rich, and lethal. Brand new faction suddenly showing up on the underworld scene in the middle of the Imperial struggle against the rebellion. They're well funded. No one's heard of them. They hit the scene like out of nowhere. This is an ISB plant. I'm telling you right now. This whole thing has like Imperial money behind it, and it's going to be like some big reveal that they're pulling like a CIA and trying to like go in and change the gang landscape by like inventing a fake gang and having them take over a bunch of territory. Like with him saying like we are the underworld hella suspiciously, that combined with knowing that they have like deep pockets, seemingly no connections, showed up out of nowhere, like, yeah, this is government funded and they're trying to be sneaky about it. I think this might be like an industry plant. I'm probably way off on this, but if it turns out that I'm on the money, you have me here documented with this theory.
You crossed their boss Sliro, and now he wants you gone.
Also, doesn't Sliro just have like an Imperial ass look about him too?
Yes.
Like he's not in a uniform, but like I said, the cloak, he's got that Governor Adelhard thing going on.
Gone. Rob his fortune and buy your freedom.
This job, it's a death wish. I'm in.
Okay, so we are not even trying to kill Sliro. We're trying to buy Kay's freedom.
You crossed their boss Sliro, and now he wants you gone. Rob his fortune and buy your freedom.
Rob his fortune, buy your freedom. I feel like that is worded in a confusing way because it sounds like you're saying he wants you dead. You need to steal a bunch of his money and then give him his money to buy your freedom. Why would he let you buy his freedom with his own money? Why wouldn't, like, he must be telling her you need to go rob some other guy's fortune. Like that's the job he hires her for. And if you pull it off, then you get your freedom. It's misleading. I think that's what he's trying to say. But yeah, we've got like some fancy villa here that we're gonna have to sneak around. There's gonna be stealth levels, and it's gonna be a struggle. I'm not great with stealth. If anyone that's watched one of my gameplays knows that I'm a kick the door in kind of player. Sneaking around doesn't go well.
Buy your freedom.
This job, it's a death wish.
Love that we're going to Jabba's palace though. Like that's cool. I wonder who we're gonna see in the crowd here, you know?
I'm in.
Out here, you live and die by your reputation.
Zarek Besh.
The planets and creatures just look so cool.
I know, man. Like the environments and the fact that it's open world, and we'll get to like presumably go chill by this little river and like see these creatures up close and like experience the world. Like that gameplay, the gameplay demo that came out with the reveal trailer 10 months ago, totally hooked me. I'm totally ready for more.
Out here, you live and
Look at this.
die.
This has got like a Black Spire kind of vibe to it, doesn't it? I know it's not Batu. We actually already know the name of this planet. That was announced during the gameplay trailer, but it has a very like similar. I think it's the architecture and the jagged mountain spires. They really give it that Batu feel.
By your reputation.
Okay, so these guys are interesting. This is also a brand new faction. I wrote this one down. This is called the Ashiga clan, and they are Melito is the species, and they're like a hive mind syndicate, and they're based on Kijimi. Kijimi's the snowy urban planet in Rise of Skywalker. It's where Babu Frick was located. So the Ashiga clan, and a syndicate that's like connected by a hive mind. That's an interesting one. I wonder what a hierarchy looks like that in such a scenario, you know? Do they have a kingpin? Are they all like someone's obviously generating the orders? His helmet kind of has like a samurai quality to it, the way it like curves out like that. You know,
It's very Shogun-y, yes.
there is kind of some Borg. There's some Borg vibes here too, for sure. The Ashiga clan.
You want to survive? Know the play.
I love that this this Moncal sounds like fucking Groucho Marx.
You want to survive?
Twi'lek serving girl. I'm just gonna say that that's one of Hera Vandervel's. It's one of Janata Teros's descendants as well. Got some denizens in jumpsuits.
Players.
A Pike, and I see that we're adapting the live action Pike look. All right, we're going with the Book of Boba Fett and Solo Pike design instead of like the Clone Wars animated one. I know it's divisive. Not a lot of people like it. I like the live action Pikes. I think they look a little bit more like I can wrap my head around that a bit better.
You're new to this world.
What's your problem?
Come back when you're not.
Jabba, right? Look, don't try.
Is that one of Greedo's cousins over there behind Jabba?
Don't try anything. I got a whole crew surrounding the. Okay, we're skipping that part.
Who else in the entourage here? Can we recognize anyone that we know? Bib Fortuna back there for sure. Is that Ula? Oh, I'm sad now. Damn, that's totally Ula sitting there on the steps. Because, yeah, this is between 5 and 6, so Ula's already in captivity. She's not going to be here for long, though. Man, that bums me out a little bit, actually. Death Star or just Star Destroyer? What are we thinking? I'm thinking Star Destroyer. Because if it was the Death Star, it would have to be the Death Star 2, and that's like tippy-top secret at this time. Crimson Dawn is when the rebellion learns of its existence, and that has not happened yet.
For about as long as I can remember.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying, man. It bums me out. I love that Nyx will get stuff for you. It's like a little fetching.
It's just been me and Nyx. Doing what we have to survive.
I love how fucking Indiana Jones that uppercut is. Boom. I could watch space fascists get uppercutted all day.
Survive.
She like winds up with her entire body too. Like she put everything she had into that poor man's chin.
This job is my one shot at freedom.
Gorgeous.
But if we're gonna pull this off.
Wait, did you see that? That looks kind of weird. Watch her jump. Watch the animation of her jump here.
But if we're gonna pull this off.
That was weird. It's like they just dragged the model upward. She goes straight upward.
But if we're gonna pull this off, we need the.
That was very like in-game footagey looking. Do you see what I'm seeing? Are you noticing it?
You're pausing too much, so.
Sorry. When she jumps across the thing, she like sort of glides upwards a little bit.
But
right
if
here.
We're gonna pull this off. We need the right crew.
Yeah, that's definitely in-game looking jump.
But if we're gonna pull this off, we need
ND5, like the BX droid with the most drip in the galaxy. It's brilliant, man. They just put a trench coat on a robot and everyone's losing their minds. Like that's.
And then a scar across the chest.
Oh yeah, sexy scar. Chicks dig scars, especially on robots.
need the right crew.
A Chadra fan? Oh, do you think it's the Chadra fan? Could that be Snaggletooth? I hope so, and I hope not, because Snaggletooth has his own shit going on, and we can have more than one Chadra fan character out there. But he looks cute. I want to know more about him. We've got a Rhodian scientist ripping the back off of a protocol droid. I'm thinking that's it's not 000. That's the first thing that came to my mind, right? Black protocol droid. That's what you would. If the eyes were red, there'd be no mistaking him. Oh, and dude, look at that. There's like B1 battle droid chassis in the background. You see them stacked against the shelves?
Yep.
Very nice.
And the right ship.
Having to adjust the seat. That's real.
I hire you because you are one of the best hunters in the Outer Rim.
So this is our antagonist. Obviously Slero, but then this is who he's hired to track down Kay. Not the best introduction. We see her as like, I've hired you because you're one of the best. And we instantly see her getting beat up by ND5.
The best hunters in the Outer Rim.
She's more connected than you let on, Slero.
Normally when you're introduced to like a badass, you see them like doing badass stuff. You just see her getting thrown across the room by a droid. She's got some cybernetics going on, or is it just like an earpiece maybe?
That's what I was trying to figure out.
Is she like partial cyborg maybe?
Bess is mixed up in something bigger.
Okay, so we've come to it. We've come to it at last. Do you see what's weird about this shot, about the Star Destroyer right here?
It doesn't have the shield bowls
on either side of the bridge there. Yeah, it's missing
the First Order ones didn't either. Or maybe they just had small ones.
Yeah, they're very conspicuously absent here, and I think that's interesting. Is this a different class of Star Destroyer that we haven't seen before, or is that a rendering mistake? Because it wouldn't be the first time. There have been, like, especially in trailers, they don't fully render assets sometimes. I know, right? It looks weird. It looks weird. They neutered a perfectly good Star Destroyer. Everybody, make sure you always spay and neuter your capital ships, okay? Because we don't want a bunch of GR-75s running around everywhere. Be responsible, ship owners.
I mean, I'm used to looking at the old Sith ships that come out of the Starforge and KOTOR, and those don't have shield balls.
Right, so, but that's supposed to be an Imperial Star Destroyer. Like, there's an X-Wing right there. It's got to be. Ooh, what if this is a misdirect and that's not Imperial? It's the wild card, right? And we're going to get Talon card, and that's the wild card, and the reason there'll be some narrative reason why it doesn't have its globes. That would be weird. It is probably just an oversight, and it's something that they caught that they're going to catch, and they'll fix it by the time the game actually releases. Just like Barriss Offee not having hand tattoos in the Tales of the Empire trailer. Yeah, maybe that single X-Wing just like completely took them off. Just neutered the ship.
The Outer Rim is a dangerous place.
Womp Rat? Actually, is it a Womp Rat? It's got like a Cubone kind of like bone mask face looking thing. It kind of resembles what the Womp Rats look like in SWTOR, though. I'm willing to call it one, but it's probably like a variation unique to that planet or something. They kind of look like Proxy a little bit from The Force Unleashed. I think it's the round eyes. Proxy had more like exposed wires. He was kind of like more like the Phantom Menace 3PO. Yeah, the faces remind me of Proxy. That's Kijimi. That's definitely Kijimi. It looks just like it, and this is where we're going to run into that Ashiga clan.
Everyone is fighting for their piece of the galaxy. But all I want is to live free.
Could this be Nar Shaddaa, bro? All the neon, like colored lights everywhere, industrial. I'm fooling myself. I'm sure it's not the Smuggler's Moon, but man, I want it so bad. Like that could be, right? It could be. No? Well, what do you think it is? What do you like? It's like
it's just inside of a ship.
She's flying around inside like an NVIDIA graphics card, throwing grappling hooks around.
Trying to escape
the fan. And then right into a Sarlacc pit. Now, this shot right here of a Death Trooper, right? And this shot right here, if you told me that these two shots came from the Battlefront 2 2017 trailer, I would have believed you. Like, the graphics in this are a little bit better, but they're not so much better that you couldn't like hide some of these shots in an older game, and I would be like, oh yeah, that belongs. It's also to be fair, we're watching a slightly compressed version of this that's been uploaded to StreamYard, so we're not really getting it at its highest fidelity anyway. But I did notice that when I was watching it for the first time earlier today, that like it looks good. It doesn't look as good as maybe I thought it was going to, just because it's a 2024 brand new upcoming game. It looks about as good as Battlefront 2 looked, you know? Gotta be Jabba's palace. They almost look like Baomar monks, you know? She's shooting at them though.
Those
and they're
things are supposed
non-violent,
to be
so
pacifists and much bigger. Those don't look like brain spider giants.
they are a lot bigger than this. And also, you're right, they're pacifists. So why would she be shooting at them unless she's like a total dick? And then fucking crate dragon, dude.
Crate dragon.
Like, come
Out of
on.
nowhere. Dude, the speed that is just like coming at her also is just like astronomical. Like
it's
just,
moving really quick
I get
to
it,
the
I
stand,
get
but
that
she's also moving really quick, like towards it. So it's like both.
towards it.
No, that looks fantastic, man. And that is Star Wars Outlaws. It's coming soon. There's a bunch of extra crazy crap that you can sign up for if you're that excited about it. I probably will. I'm not even going to lie to you. I probably will, both because it's kind of in my wheelhouse to get the ultimate editions of things and let the rest of you know whether or not it in fact was worth it. Like, I'm willing to bite that bullet for everybody else. I've done that pretty frequently in the past. But I'm also just like, I don't know. I'm willing to admit that I'm pretty damn susceptible to marketing. Like, you can play on my nostalgia pretty easily. If you figure out what I'm into, I'm an easy sell. But I am looking forward to this. I think this is going to be a badass gameplay experience. And it is coming August 30th, 2024. So just at the end of the summer. You know what I'm going to be doing all of September? Playing through this thing, man. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. This has been Dork Forces issue 66, which is a very powerful number in Star Wars. Thank you so much for being here and discussing with us as we do our double breakdown of the Tales of the Empire and Star Wars Outlaws story trailers. Do you have any final comments, Bendu, about any of these topics before we wrap her up for the night here?
I mean, Acolyte, the more we see it, the more great it looks. Even if it's going to be a short story, I think visually it's still going to be very much more of like an opening sort of welcoming presence, at least when it comes to the Star Wars universe. I know a lot of people are just giving it shit because people love to give shit about anything. Yeah. But I'm excited to see a different era of Star Wars. Like, I'm excited to see something that isn't necessarily connected to the Skywalker name, but yet we're still able to have Jedi lightsaber force related things without it being.
It's a breath of fresh air, and you can make the argument that like the Skywalker saga is Star Wars, and like, yeah, that's true, but it's a big galaxy out there, and there's more that we can explore outside of that too. And you're right, it is really fresh, and the fact that we're getting the Acolyte, which is Jedi centric, away from the Skywalker saga, and then we're also getting Star Wars Outlaws, which is just straight up away from the Force and away from lightsabers. Like, it's going to be a really nice breather from the usual. And then we're diving right back into it again with Dawn of the Jedi, the Rey movie. Like, it'll be coming back around. So like, we're going to enjoy this little respite from the Skywalker saga for a while. And like, yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right. It's going to be nice to see it that way. Bad Batch is coming in just a couple hours. You guys will have to stay tuned for our reaction. The full-length reaction will be dropping on Patreon pretty much immediately, and the YouTube reaction will be coming the following day. Thanks again for watching, everybody. This has been the Dork Forces podcast. We will see you next week at the same time in the same place. Thanks again. And as always, may the Force be with you.
Why do you seek Imperial favor?
Years ago, my people were all but destroyed. My anger gives me strength. It is that strength I offer the Empire.
Offer accepted.
I'm here to present you with an opportunity, Barris.
Just be glad you're not a Jedi anymore.
Your path is set, Morgan Elspeth. I will fulfill my destiny.
Mercy only breeds defeat. But I will help you overcome this weakness. Attack!
You said the Empire would help to change things.
Everything comes at a cost. My world has been burning since I was a child. You cannot stop what has begun.
Now you must face one final test to join us. It is time you meet your new master. Long live the Empire.